Am I the asshole for rage quitting after I lost an election? I, 28 female, have been a member of a large volunteer organization for several years. I am one of the longest standing members. I have spent hundreds of hours on various aspects of it. I've held small leadership positions in almost every area. And I have a large amount of experience being the president of another organization as well. When I first joined, things were not doing well, so I, with others, worked our asses off to improve that, and we did. In fact, we did so well with improving the atmosphere that we had a massive amount of incoming members, who quickly became very close with each other, something we specifically encouraged, and have absolutely no idea how bad things used to be, or how much behind-the-scenes work it takes to maintain the way things are now. I ran for president in the most recent election. I ran against 5 other candidates. 4 of us had years of experience and had been preparing our campaign for months, years. One person, let's call them Alex, was extremely new, a few weeks, had zero experience at all, decided to run at the last minute, and had a very large friend group with other new members. Alex was barely allowed to run due to how new they were, but made the cut by a handful of days. You can see where this is going. It was extremely close between me and Alex, and I lost by 1 vote. The rest of the elected officials were all new members, of the same friend group, also without experience. Then, it was discovered that 9-10 votes, specifically the votes of other people in leadership positions who worked closely with me, were not counted. This was not intentional or malicious, simply a computer error. Apparently every single one of them voted for me. I technically won. They tried to get the election results overturned because of it, but higher-ups would not allow it, because they feared it would look like favoritism. At the end of the day, I was told to keep quiet and not let anyone know about this. That brings me to my current situation. Because nobody on the new executive team has any experience, I started facing a lot of pressure to take on a lower leadership position solely to guide them and ensure our hard work doesn't go to hell. I absolutely refused. In fact, I've decided to drop all leadership roles and do absolutely nothing this year. This has led to multiple people telling me that I don't truly care about the organization, that I'll be responsible if it falls apart, etc. I feel like it's a slap in the face to expect me to do what a president does without the title to show it. Am I the asshole for dropping all leadership positions and letting the new team do whatever the hell they want to do? First things first, is there a paper trail where someone admits to the vote thing? Like that's provable? I wouldn't try to use it to overturn the decision, but I would absolutely publicly tell them that is the reason I'm quitting. And then quit. Not the asshole if you do an actual handover. Give them a document or spreadsheet noting what things need to be done for the position you've just vacated. Point them in the direction of where previous meeting minutes, financial details, requirements, etc. can be found. Maybe schedule of events that are typically run through the year. Then you can leave with a clear conscience. I'd recommend leaving the organization entirely, and finding something else to spend your energy on. Are you a woman? Keeping quiet about injustice is something people expect from women. Not the asshole. Fair elections matter, and if the organization will fall apart because of one person stepping back, that's not the fault of the person, it's the fault of the organization. Classic Schrodinger's employee. Not valuable enough to defend as the rightful elected president of the institution, while simultaneously too valuable to have stepped down because you are integral to the very fiber and existence of the organization. Not the asshole. A mentor of mine was fond of saying, volunteering is optional. Doing the job is not. You are well within your right to step back, at any time, for any reason. And if the organization falls apart, that's on the elected leaders. What kind of organization? I think the importance of what you're doing matters. If this is a chess club, they can go fuck themselves. Am I the asshole for shouting at my husband when he came into the room during a time test? About 3 months ago I was laid off from my job in the tech industry. It was unexpected and a big hit for me mentally, as I enjoy working and feeling like I'm good at my job and contributing. I've been working through a resulting identity crisis with my therapist, but I absolutely hate being at home and not having a routine, so I've also been applying far and wide. I've had a couple interviews, but none have led to an offer yet. Last week I was invited to complete a timed written test for a company that I would love to work for. They informed me in advance the timed test would last an hour, and told me the date and time when they would send it to me. I'm someone who gets extremely nervous during interviews and these things, and so I spent a lot of time preparing, but I also told my husband that I will need to not be disturbed during the test at all. I asked him to please not walk into the room during the duration of the test, at all, and to not bother me in any way, because I know how stressed I get and how I need maximum focus, and he reassured me that he understood. Fast forward to the test yesterday, I was taking it in our second bedroom, office with the door closed. With about 15 minutes to go, the nerves and stress started to set in, and I was a little frantic trying to finish the task and leave myself time to proofread. That's when my husband walked into the room saying, "Sorry, ignore me." Right away I said, "Please get out," and he said, "Ignore me, I just need to grab something quickly," and started digging through the drawer of the desk I was sitting at. That's when I lost my temper and yelled, "I can't ignore you. I need you to not be standing over me right now, just get the fuck out." He left and made a point to slam the door. Afterwards, I came out to apologize to him and explain that I was just really stressed, and that I had asked him, repeatedly, to stay out of the second bedroom for 1 hour. He said he doesn't understand why it's such a big deal and that I massively overreacted by snapping, and hurt his feelings. It's been over 24 hours and he's still mad at me. Am I the asshole? Info. What was the thing that he needed so urgently? ETA. Not the asshole. At best, he was insensitive and selfish, trying to act like he wasn't a huge distraction and a huge disappointment for not being able to stay out of a room for 60 minutes. At worst, he was intentionally trying to sabotage you. I'm worried about you though for not realizing that. Are you alright, or have you been shat on by this asshole for so long that your understanding of common sense has degraded? Not the asshole. Not only did he disturb you when you had asked him not to enter the room for 1 hour, but he started rummaging into the desk drawers, the desk you were taking the test on? There's no way someone is so clueless. He had to have done it on purpose to sabotage you for some reason. I can't imagine someone can be so clueless and tactless. Even if you weren't nervous, having someone go through desk drawers while you're taking a time-limited test can be disruptive. To top it, he is now gaslighting you instead of taking accountability. Not the asshole. He could have waited for 15 more minutes. A few summers ago I needed 3.5 hours of quiet for a test. I found my husband and told him to leave me alone, and got started. 20 minutes later he wanders over and starts talking to me. Apparently, the look on my face when I turned to him reminded him of the conversation because he immediately shut his mouth, turned around, and left. When I was done I found him to see what was so important. He apologized profusely. His ADHD meds had kicked in and made him chatty, and he just forgot. That your husband interrupted you is one thing, but that he kept it up after you reminded him is unacceptable. Not the asshole. I hope you show him the results from this post, because in no universe would you be considered ta. He only had to wait an hour and he couldn't do that. He showed blatant disrespect and isn't taking accountability for his actions. And the fact he kept saying, ignore me, shows he was aware that what he was doing was wrong, but continued anyway. Honestly, though, what kind of reaction was he expecting? I have to take proctored exams for my designation, and since COVID they're barely available in person, mostly they're online. One of the main requirements is that there is no one else in the room with you. This would have caused me to fail my test and I'd be livid. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for ruining our family dinner after a comment about my smile? We're currently on a family vacation. Myself, husband, 2 kids and my parents. A little background. My mother is odd and my dad has commented as long as I can remember that she and Elle are like oil and water. I can't even put her oddness completely into words, other than to say she feels competitive over my father's attention, not even with just me, but also with her grandsons. If my father wants to read them a story or tuck them in bed, she interrupts and tells him it's time for him to go to sleep. It's incredibly cringy to watch. The other pertinent fact is that I have chronic pain. Every avenue has been exhausted. My successful career is gone. But my mother always downplays it, acting like I just have a little headache when she knows that I am never not in pain. In contrast, she is constantly looking for a reason to see a new doctor. Every tiny twinge is the end of the world for her. So tonight we were set to go out for our first family dinner. We get to the lobby, everyone's dressed up and it's decorated for Christmas, so I'm getting pictures. I finally ask my dad if he would take a picture of our family of 4. As we're posing with our children in front, I see my mother go right up next to my dad and yell out, "Stop that. You need to fix your smile." I honestly think she's talking to one of our boys. Since I can't see their faces, I add in, "Okay. Nice smiles." However, my mom interjects again, "No, you, my name. Your smile is horrible." It looks like she takes her fingers, puts them on each side of her mouth and pulls one up and one down while tilting her head. I'm honestly baffled as I am genuinely smiling. I realize that my smile probably doesn't extend up to my eyes like it used to as a result of the pain, but she's acting like I was doing a goofy face. I go to reset and she once again yells, "Stop making that face." At this point I'm angry. I leave the pose, get the phone from my dad, pick up my purse and start walking towards the restaurant. But she's not done. She hurries after me and continues to tell me how I need to look at the photos to see how awful my smile was. I did. It was not. There was nothing wrong with the picture. The fact that she kept going on and on justifying her actions, Elle was finally just done. I stopped walking, told my husband I'm sorry but I'm going to go back to the room and that he and the kids can go to dinner without me. I was on fire with anger which gave way to tears as soon as I was out of her presence. So in her mind, and maybe everyone else's, I'm the one who ruined dinner, and I probably did. I should be able to just let her words roll off me. I feel such a shell of my former self from everything I've lost to this devouring pain now I can't even smile correctly. However, I'm pretty sure I'm being the asshole to the people I love the most and that makes the whole thing even worse. Not the asshole. My mother is odd. You spelled needy and narcissistic wrong. Not the asshole. Your mother is an awful person. Not the asshole. Not everything needs to be commented on. Your mom is being a butthole in all the worst ways. I'm sure your smile was beautiful. Don't allow her to dim your light. I am noticing that your mom is the only antagonizer in this story. If this is common behavior for her, I highly recommend taking a break from her to see how you feel without her around. It might be difficult and there may complain about it, but having mental peace can contribute to your overall happiness. Not the asshole. I would keep my distance. And definitely not travel with them. But if it happens again, split off with your husband and kids. Go somewhere together without your parents. Don't punish your family by sending them off with her. Leave her behind. Time to get rid of the biggest pain in your life, your mom. Go and see. I have a feeling your chronic pain may be your body on overload from the constant tension and mental abuse from your mom. As for your mom, I know some are saying narcissists, which may be the case, but does definitely sound like some undiagnosed mental issues. Not the asshole, but I don't think walking away was the right answer. At some point you are going to need to call her out on her abusive behavior. You need to stand up for yourself in front of your children. If you can't, you need to go LC with your mother. Am I the asshole for being disgusted because my girlfriend doesn't wash her hair for weeks? I understand this is a very sensitive subject and I want to preface by saying I am approaching this as delicately as possible. Any ignorance on my part is not malicious but simply because I don't know. I, 28 male, was in a long-distance relationship with my girlfriend, 25 female, for several months before we decided to take the plunge and move in together. She now lives with me. Before she lived with me, we could only visit each other one weekend every month but we called and texted every day. She moved in with me about 6 weeks ago. For relevant context, I am white and my girlfriend is black. We live a very active lifestyle and we regularly work out, hike, bike, etc. I started to notice that after she would work out and shower, her hair would not be wet and still in braids. I have a sister and I know women don't always wash their hair every day, so I figured it was that. But then I noticed she still didn't wash her hair the next week either. Her hair is absolutely beautiful and I love her curls, but whenever I got near her head I could smell that her scalp, hair were dirty and unclean. I personally am very sensitive about smells, especially the smell of a dirty scalp. I have to wash my hair every 1-2 days because I cannot stand the smell of buildup. More time passed and it had now been weeks since my girlfriend washed her hair, and while it might be mean to say, I was honestly disgusted. The smell was really bothering me and I brought up the issue to her, which caused her to fly off the handle. Granted, I might not have gone about it the best way. I basically asked her point blank when the last time she washed her hair was because it kind of smells bad. She looked at me like I was insane and immediately started calling me racist and ignorant. She informed me black women's hair is different and doesn't require frequent washing because it can dry out and damage the follicles. I told her I understand haircare for black women is different, but that doesn't mean her scalp or hair magically stays clean and doesn't smell after not washing out the dirt, sweat, oils, and buildup for weeks. This led to her calling me a dumb fucking racist, and she kept repeating how ignorant and stupid I am. This has really cut me deep because I do not believe I am racist. Ignorant is fair because that is true. I grew up in a predominantly white area and my past girlfriends have all been exclusively white or Asian with straight hair texture. I had no exposure and I don't see why a white guy not knowing about black women haircare is racist. Things with my girlfriend are tense. She has been washing her hair every day and saying she will blame me for how damaged her hair becomes because I have made her so insecure about the smell. I have apologized profusely but things still aren't well. I guess I just want an outside perspective. Edit. For clarity, she did not wash her hair for 5 weeks. This past week she has been washing her hair every day. Edit 2. For clarity on the conversation, I did not call her disgusting to her face, but I felt disgusted by the dirty smell and lack of showering for 5 weeks. I said something along the lines of, "Hey, when was the last time you washed your hair? To be honest, it smells a bit bad, babe." Black girl here, depending on her hair type, yes, hair care is very different. Curly hair is usually washed 1-2 a week, but 4A to 4C hair is washed once every 2 weeks, and once every 3 weeks in braids. Also, we use different moisturizers that can smell strange if you're not used to it. I don't doubt that maybe her hair was smelly considering your active lifestyle, but the way you went about it was wrong. Also, if you can't handle someone not washing their hair for 3 weeks, especially in braids, then don't date black girls. Our hair just doesn't need to be washed as often, unless she is sweating a lot. Activities. I also hope she stops washing it every day because that is not going to end well. I'm not going to pass judgment, because I don't know enough about this topic to say anything. There are many comments here pointing out the challenges black women face with hair care, so I'll take their word for it. What I will say, though, is that it's a hell of a jump to go from being in a long-distance relationship where you only see each other 2 days a month to living together. I also don't see much of a future in a relationship where one partner thinks the other is a dumb fucking racist. Calling me a dumb fucking racist. I still can't grasp how the YTA votes have her back after that one and her continuing to insult you. A partner insulting me like that would be a deal breaker. You didn't approach it sensitively though, to be honest. But honestly, I can get behind being affected by certain smells. Torn between everyone sucks here and not the asshole based on that. She is definitely an asshole for her reaction. ETA. Op already confirmed she didn't wash her head in at least 5 weeks, while being physically active a lot in a hot climate. Not the asshole. I'm a black woman with type 4 hair and I wash once a week. I'm sorry, this is just poor hygiene. GF isn't the off for being offended, but I don't think you commenting on the fact that there is a smell coming from her scalp is racist. If my girlfriend called me a dumb fucking racist because I was forced to mention that her hair smells so bad I'm being grossed out, well, I dump her. Not the asshole. Lack of hygiene isn't a style choice you need to accept. Claiming that lack of hygiene is okay because of your race isn't okay either. That said, people with very curly hair do not wash. It is often due to the logistics issues. If it is unhygienic and actually foul smelling, it does need to be washed though. Hair won't get damaged by using the proper products though.